Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm going to bind my other journal cover in a moment, but I thought I would just make another one, and this time I'm not going to show it all to you. I just wanted to show you the beginning. I've cut myself another piece of batting and also a piece of tablecloth. This is an old white cotton or linen tablecloth. I'm not sure what fabric that is, but it's probably cotton blend, I think. And I've put all my strips into a long piece. So basically what I've done to join them together is I've sewn them diagonally, and you do that by putting the two pieces of fabrics at right angles to each other, right sides together, like that. And then you sew from that corner to that corner. When you then iron it back, you get a piece that is diagonal like that, which you then go through and trim this piece off. Now, why wouldn't I just join them horizontally? Wouldn't that be easier? Well, yes, except then you would have a join right across here, and if you were going to fold that, which you normally do when you're doing this sort of stuff, you'll have all the bulk in the one place, and that's the reason why you join them diagonally. Now, I have to give a shout out to Leslie Spears, who said, now I'm in her wheelhouse, and I apologise, Leslie, I'm not the best quilter, but she actually, I think she said she used to teach quilting. So don't look too closely, please. And also to Alana and Leslie, who both said that they thought my price on my bags was too low. But the problem is I don't think anyone will buy them if they're any higher. Nobody might buy them anyway, but that's the story. So I'm just looking for a piece. I wanted to start with a piece of this actually, so up the right way. So this time, instead of doing it straight up and down, I'm going to do it acrossways like this. And you need to make sure that the point of your fabric, let me pull that into shot, that point is above where your batting is, and this one is below where your batting is. So I could probably cut this off afterwards, but I'll just chop it now so you can see. And then, I'm not sure why my camera seems a bit closer today, but anyway, and then I'm going to start with my strips. So this is the long one, and the reason why is because some of these pieces will end up short, and I don't want to have to join in the middle. So I might get some pieces that will be like that when I sew them, so when I turn them over you'll get that effect. So you'll have two pieces on the one. So I'm going to start with this top one, and it's just doing exactly what I did in yesterday's video. So I just have to make sure that when I come down to a piece like this, I've made sure that all of these are up the right way. So I need to make sure that that's, both going up the right way like that. So that's why you need to be careful when you're sewing them together. So I'm just going to go through and do this one again, and like I did yesterday, and I'll show you the different result you get with the one on the angle versus the horizontal one. Now once you've done that, this is what it ends up looking like. So I've done that all diagonally, and then I've cut around it, and how I've done that to square it up is putting my quilt ruler on there and then cutting each side. But if you don't have a quilt ruler, then just measure it and make sure it's reasonably square, or rectangular, because that's what you want for your junk journal. And that looks really pretty. I think I like that better than the straight up and down one, the horizontal one. But anyway, now I'm going to put some edging or binding around the outside. So I've got my long strip of fabric that I was playing with before. This is 2 inches wide. If I'm doing a quilt, I normally do 2.5 inches, but I think I can get away with 2 inches for this. And start somewhere along the bottom. Now take this to your iron and iron it in half, right sides out on the outside, so wrong sides together. Now take your strip, and it needs to be long enough to go all the way around the book. Start somewhere, so I'm going to start down the bottom, leave this bit, this is a tail. You'll need that when you come to finish it up, and then you put it down, and then you just stitch around here 1/4 inch in, stitching through all of the layers including the binding. Then when you get to the corner, you stop here, show you with this, so you'd end here about 1/4 of an inch from the corner and the edges, both edges, and you stitch straight up here into that corner. What that will do will allow you to bring it out and then turn it like this, and then keep stitching, so you're actually not catching this piece, you've got a little catch in there, and then you just keep stitching around. Okay, I've stitched that on now, and you can see I've got like this little pocket thing. So when I got to the corner, I came to the actual corner here as I stitched, and then lifted it up and turned my fabric like this and kept stitching. What that means is you've now got a little fold over corner like that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to overlap this in order to, so I've got my tail, and I'm going to come up here to where I've stopped. I just want to cut that off straight, and then I'm going to measure this piece from where it meets this piece here, and I'm going to come down the width of the fabric. So this is 2 inches wide, so I need to come down 2 inches from the top. So just from where those two overlap, can you see that? I'm coming down 2 inches from the top here, and I'm overlapping that 2 inches, and then I'm going to cut it off at that 2 inch mark. Now I know this works because I've done it multiple times on my quilts. And now what you do is you take these two and you put them together using that same method of diagonal sewing, and then when you open them up they'll fit perfectly in the space that you've given. Now I know this, as I said, because I do it all the time, and how I learned was through a wonderful quilter called Jenny Doan, D-O-A-N, and she is the owner of Missouri Star Quilt Company. So if you haven't seen or heard of Jenny Doan and you're a quilter, I highly recommend her to you. She teaches you how to do everything in a really easy way, and this was one of the things I always struggled with. So after I join those two together and it all lays flat, then I'm just going to roll it over like this, and then I will stitch it just around here. So that is the binding done and another journal cover done. Now all I need to do is create some ties, and to create those ties I'm going to take this leftover fabric, and I've already ironed it in half, and I'm going to bring the two raw edges into the center, and then I'll put that on top of each other and then just stitch that, and that will create some pretty little ties, and I'll be able to tie my book up. And then when I want to sew a signature in, I'm going to sew through the signature and just through the fabric and the batting and everything, and that will hold the signature in. And I think that's awfully cute, and I've got the other one there that I need to finish off as well, and I've got plenty of fabric left over to do that too. Now I haven't put the ties on yet, but I will, but I want to make a journal to go in it, and I was trying to think what I had that was in reasonably bright coloured paper, and I've chosen this range, which I showed you ages ago. It's called Better Times from Minte. I've never used it, so I thought it was probably a good time to use it, to have something really bright for inside. There's no red in this paper, but there is the turquoise, and also there is the yellow, the green, so I think that it's going to work okay, and that's what I'm choosing to use. So I'm not going to do anything with this at the moment. There's lots of fussy cutting you can do with this one, but I will start. Now some of these papers are large. Minte papers often have a large image, and I'm always challenging myself to try and work out how to make that work. So I have cut some down already. Measuring up the journal cover, I'm looking at about 7.5 by, I could get away with a 9 inch, I think, just inside. So that's what I'm going to do. I've cut this paper down so that this one is just almost 8.5. I've cut another one down that is 9 inches. And if I score them in half, that will make the 6 inch mark. But I actually want to offset that a little bit. I want to have a 7.5 on the front piece, and then whatever is left on the back. Let's just see if this fits in. Could probably have gone back to 7 actually, so I may well do that, so I make sure that all the pages are in. Now because I've already scored that, I don't want to rescore it. Look how bright that is. Isn't that going to be pretty inside? I'm not going to rescore it at the 7. I'm just going to cut that 1/2 inch off. And now that's going to fit much better in this cover. So I also have another piece which is cut down. Let me just see if I can find that piece. It's this one here, this floral one. Now I've made this one the full height. So you can see it fits in, it goes edge to edge. And again, I think I'll score it at the 7-inch mark. So just these front pages will be the right width and the back pages will be shorter. But I will make some that are different. When I put those two inside one another, there is a difference, of course, because I haven't cut them the same height. But this is going to be quite big in terms of a journal. That's quite a large journal there. Let's move on. I've got these little things here. Now, Minte usually does these. They come in a set of 12. There's always a journaling spot on the back. And the one thing that I like to do with these is just score them down between each one and then fold them up. Now I will put that into the book in some way, shape or form. And then with the others that are on that page, if I can just grab them, I've cut them down into sets of 2. And these make wonderful little booklets to go in your junk journal. That's just adorable, isn't it? Little ice cream shake on the back. So I do have a few of these, which I will just score in half. Now this one here is 12 inches by 12 inches. And I'm wondering how I can make it work. So I know if I do 7 on the front, it will take it to there. But obviously this piece at the top is going to be too big for it. So I'm thinking that I will fold it down. See how far this comes. This is 8 inches, which is fine. So if I score it across there, that's what I'll do. Okay, so I'm going to start by scoring it down at the 5-inch mark here. And then I'm going to turn it around and score it at the 8-inch mark, because that will come just underneath where that cabinet, bottom part of the cabinet is. And now I can try and make this into something. Now the back is full of beautiful butterflies, and I also need the other piece for the back, so I'm going to fold this over and score it. I think the pocket's going to be on this side. That's going to be one page. And then this page here, I can either leave that as a pocket or I can take it off. So I'm just deciding what I'll do with it. That doesn't look too bad being upside down. The other thing I could do with it would be to leave it up like this and then have it as a piece that folds down so you can see the cupboard here. Let's see. No, I think I like it the other way, and I don't mind that being upside down. The other thing I want to do is cut this away, and that piece I can use to create another pocket or something. Now here are the other pieces, and I'm going to put this up like that. So that is going to go in there, and you'll just have that whole section on the front like that. I put it on the front, not sure yet. Okay, now I may have to trim this tiny little bit too, because I don't want it to get caught in the spine of the book. Now I've got a page there now, so I'll pop that one to one side. Now this one here, let's get rid of these. This here, I think not sure what I'm doing with that yet, but I was thinking about cutting it open, but in fact what I should have done, and in fact I still can do, is cut this one open so that it's got some doors that open up, because that doesn't matter if that's there. And in fact I'm going to take this whole piece off. I've just changed my mind, and that's okay. I'm allowed to change my mind. I'll take this whole piece here off. That I can still use the back or the front of that as a pocket. Just cut these doors so that they open up. I'm going to go straight up the center here. And turn and come across to the edge. I could have done this with my craft knife and my ruler, just haven't chosen not to on this occasion. Might have been easier though. That's okay, we're getting somewhere. Now, I do want to make sure I've scored these edges properly so that they will open. And turn it up the other way. Work out where that score line's got to be. And then fold this back. And the same on this side. Just going to put it at the 3 inches so I get a nice score through here, and score that one back. Now if I measure this up, that measures just over 5 inches by, well, about 3 and let's say 4 inches if I put that on the end. I'll find another piece and I'll make this so that inside there'll be a pocket, and then on the back here you'll be able to open that up. So I need something that's going to go down over all of that. I'm wondering if I can use another piece of the butterfly paper. I don't know if that's going to look a bit weird if it's not quite what I need it to be. I also have the piece that I took off the bottom of here. Maybe this would be okay. Just wondering if that's going to look any good. Probably not, so I'll have to find another piece. Let's look at some of these pieces that we took off before and put to one side. My desk is extremely messy today. I have fabric everywhere, let me tell you. I've been doing a lot of sewing and I have a complete mess. I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but I'm going to have to clean it up, I know that. And I really wanted to do this journal, so now I've got myself in more of a pickle. Okay, all right, so I'm going to, okay, I've just got some ideas. Let me think about this now. I'll try and find another piece. It's on the back of that plane, that's probably better. I'd like something like this in here. So when you open that up, you get the little birdies. And on the back it's plain. I need to cut or ink this edge. It's bothering me because I've just clipped it a tiny bit wrong when I've cut it. Let me correct that first so I'm happier. I like the swing there too. So I'd have to bring it out to, well, not near the door, well, near the door, but not completely near the door. And just about, let me measure. So I'd need about, let's say 4 1/4 by, I'd need to go up to there by 5 1/2. Okay, let's cut that. And this is how messy my bench and my desk are, in that I've had to dig out the 12-inch cutter from underneath everything so I can actually use it. Now I don't want to cut through the door. So what did I say? 4 1/4. I think I'm going to have to make it bigger than that. I'm sure I measured that wrong. Let me try again. Edge to edge is just over 4, a bit more than that. doesn't look like it's enough, does it? Because that would only be that. I'm going to make it 4.5. Okay, that's telling me that that's the right size. Now I want to line that up with the bottom. Actually, I don't mind if it goes over to where the join of the paper will be. That's fine. Isn't that sweet? I've got the little birds in there. And then you can shut it up. Now I think I'll put a clip on here, because if I don't do that, it's going to be a problem, because it might flap open. And then this will fold up. So you've got that little thing in there. And then over the page, I need to fix this now. And probably the best way to fix it would be to go with a pocket. Now, not that, because that's not the right size. No, I could make this with the butterflies down here and have a pocket. I don't like that, so let's move on. I know, I'll use this side here. So this is the remaining bit that I had. So it's obviously it's the same width. And I may have to cut it down though, because if I don't cut it down, it's going to interfere. Although I could do a side pocket. As I said, I'm in a complete mess. I hate being in a mess. I want to rearrange my craft room, and at the moment it's not happening for me, because I don't know why, I just haven't done it. It's a big job. I need to move a desk, and I've got a whole, desk with a thing on it. I need to move my big table, which is not too bad. I've moved it many times. But I also need to move the bench. And a whole heap of other things. Most of them are on rolling things, so they will be fine. But the bench, I need to unpack it all, and I don't want to. I'm not looking forward to that at all. And hence my procrastination. And hence I've got fabric everywhere, and now I've got paper everywhere. It's not good, is it? There you go. That one on that side, and then a pocket in here. So with the pocket, I wonder if I can use this to put in here. This is the other door that I cut away before, and I'm just wondering if I can now do something similar with it. So it's still 12 inches. I would have to take it off. Let's see how much the actual cupboard is. The cupboard is only 8.5 inches. So I could get away with a piece that is 9 inches. If I cut this bit off the bottom, I would have it the height of the other piece in the journal, which is here. This one is 9 inches. This is one of the flower wreaths that goes all the way around. Now, I'm not going to throw this little bits like that away, because I'll be able to use those somehow, I'm sure. And then 9 inches. Okay, I'm going to score that at the, I think at the 1 1/4 inches. I'm having trouble staying within the lines today. I don't know what's going on. It's run off again. Bad scoring on my part, please forgive me. Isn't that stunning? Just stunning. The pink in that is beautiful. I love these colours. I have a teacup in these colours. Reminds me of my mother. That's why I bought it, because she loved all these colours too. And who can blame her? Now, what else have I got? I've got the other one that looks like that. There's the rest of that. I've got my fussy cut sheet. Oh, that's good. I pulled out some of these because I thought that they worked really well. That's the colour green. This is one of my favourite colour greens. It's like a citrine sort of colour. This one's a bit darker, but I think that goes really well with all those colours. And I'm going to cut some of this into pages. I'll take this away. Now I'm going to make these pages 9 inches tall. I'll do 2 of them because I've got some plans for the other bit. And I think I'll just put them in half. They'll be 6 inches. So I've still got this. Now with this, I'll trim the corners and that can become a little tag. And this one here, I'm going to make into one of those Rita Donnelly flips. And that's going to go in there and then it'll be folded up like that. And we'll make it into a pocket while we're at it. And then that little tag that I just made can sit inside it. Now, I was hoping that one of these would be wide enough to fit here, and it is, to create another pocket with these beautiful butterfly papers. And just because these are really cute and simple, I'm going to pop that one in there. So it's too easy. You just make these pockets and you've got these beautiful journaling cards. Aren't they gorgeous? And the paper is doing all the work for you. I think that's really, really pretty. I like that nothing is the same size and you've got all these gorgeous colours through it. I would like to do some longer pieces on the back though, so I have to find a paper that allows me to do that. I think this one's going to work because this I can put like that and then fold this piece over. So I think that's the plan. Let's cut it up and see how it goes. Now I can't go any more than 9 inches tall and I want the tree in. So I'm going to come down and take 3 inches off the bottom of this and see where that gets me. I'm still, if I take 3 inches, it's going to cut that bird off right here and it's going to cut the top of them on. What if I come 4.5 inches? I think 4.5 will be better because I'll get the tree, but I'll also have this bottom piece that I can use. So I'm going to go with the 4.5 and cut. So I've still got quite a good piece for the bottom to use now. And then with the trimming, I'm going to trim down here, I think, because that will give me 7. So I'm going to trim at the 5-inch mark. And actually I'm going to fold it the other way because I want it to go in the back of the book. I don't want that image at the front. So when you turn that over, you'll get this image here. I really like how I'm doing all the different staggered sort of sizes and things in this. It's very cool. All right, I'm going to leave it there for now, and then I'm going to have a think about the other papers because I've still got quite a few that I want to cut. And things like this, for example, I could just do that as a half page. So, in fact, I could. Yeah, that can just be a half a page, not a pocket or anything, because that's going to look quite good like that. So I want to go through and check out all my papers and see what I'm going to do, and then I can put them in to the cover. There's another page there, or a half page. Yeah, it's looking good. I hope you think it's good. I need to find something for that too. And I need to decorate these up some more, obviously, so I'm going to have to go through and find some pieces for that as well. But for now, I hope you enjoyed that, and I shall be back with the next video tomorrow. Thanks for joining me. Cheers.